Holy hell. I just opened up my stuff from the public pretender's office. Makes perfect sense why it took you 2 years for him to get it to me. They doctored the fuck out of it. My lawyer did not give me good advice. Matter of fact, she wasn't there to give me advice. I'm gonna read some of this bullshit because it's the right thing to do. Alright, here it says, People of the State of Colorado versus Schwartz, Sean David. Let's see, this one is from 8/24/2018, date filed. It says, date of speedy trial, not applicable. Huh. Date, case closed, 10/18/2018. That's my birthday in 2018. Here's the thing, is that they tried to use the term mentally ill. Any one of my friends, any one of these people could have gone in with me at any point in time. Ryan James Stewart is apparently the name of the judge or magistrate, but it wasn't Judge Ryan James Stewart. It was a female judge. A female judge. It says person status restrained and wanted. Historical address transient Sheridan, Colorado. Historical address. Oh, it's got my Aunt Mary's place there. I was never homeless in Sheridan. They write down whatever the fuck they want. Let's see, attorneys, attorney role, deputy public defender, attorney name, public defender, attorney bar number. See, apparently they can't say the attorney's name. Attorney bar number 900002. Primary attorney, no, I don't have one. Attorney role, deputy public defender, attorney name, Cardi Pamela Jane. Attorney bar number 50181. Primary attorney, no. And I should probably, it says confidential. Huh. I'm not being very confidential with it, am I? Here's another one. It says attorney role, deputy district attorney, Reynolds, Keisa Hollister. Attorney bar number 37176. Primary attorney, no. Attorney role, deputy district attorney, named Nelson Kionsa D. Short-haired black woman, she's a bitch. Attorney bar number 47124. Primary attorney, no. Now, does the fact that she's black make her a bitch? No, it doesn't. Attorney role, deputy district attorney. Attorney name, deputy district attorney. Attorney bar number 9000009. Primary attorney, yes. Historical address, 3395 South Zuni Street, Sheridan, Colorado. It's not in Sheridan, it's in fucking Inglewood. Let's type this up on the interwebs. We'll try this. 3395 South Zuni, Denver, Colorado. Oh, damn. Says it's in Inglewood. Inglewood, not Sheridan. They just typed whatever they wanted. And we haven't even gotten to the good parts yet. My public pretenders absolutely refused to do their jobs. It's not their job. 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 Says 8/24/2018, detained on warrant. All right. Well, they should have started it earlier than this, but they want to cut off the important parts. Anything that any officer did against me, they literally go out of their way to ignore. It says detained on warrant. Now, this is when Miss Peaches, after months and months and months of empty goddamn promises, Miss Peaches didn't go in with me. I had to go in there by myself. Literally, they haven't sent any actual evidence. It's just bullshit. On the bright side, it does say my court dates. It says warrant upon affidavit, Def 1, Schwartz, Sean David, AFI for AW, granted bond return, Arapahoe, City Court, 7325 South Potomac Street, Centennial. Now, mind you, I wasn't taken to Arapahoe County. I was stuck in Boulder County being assaulted. That video from George, that was during this stay in the Boulder County jail. I'd been trying to turn in these people, and I got treated like I was mentally ill, treated like I'm schizophrenic, and nobody gives a fuck. Nobody should have to go through this. 8/24 order for warrant, ruling, probable cause found. That's the thing, is that I broke the law for a reason. I had to. Just because you don't want to see the abuse that I'm going through doesn't mean I'm not going to show it. Let's see. It says affidavit PL1, the people of the state of Colorado, affidavit on probable cause for arrest warrant. Let's see, 2018 8/24, affidavit for arrest warrant. 2018 8/30, WLEC. I don't know what that is. Warrant canceled by law enforcement. On the 30th, holy shit, I'd been in jail for 5 fucking days by then, 6 days, and been prevented from going to the court date that I fucking had to break the law to try to fucking get. I'm not allowed to be pissed off about this. Now let's continue. Let's see. 2018 8/30, RSPO. Return of Service Protect Order. Dates added to order, notified SPN Colorado, NCIC Control Terminal, CBI Denver. My public pretender repeatedly did not show up. It says pre-trial report. IMP1, non-party pre-trial release services bond report. And then on the 30th, order MPO. Here's another one on the 30th. Mandatory protection order granted, expiration date 2025-10/18. Def 1, Schwartz, Sean David, Wilson, Kenneth, Bird, Dawn, Plunkett, Liata, and then Miles Cara. Y'all know her from my stories. The court finds the defendant is not governed by the Brady and something or other Violence Prevention Act, and shall not harass, injure, molest, intimidate, threaten, retaliate against, tamper with any witnesses or victim of the acts you are charged with committing, shall vacate the home of the victims and stay away from any other location the victims are likely to be found. I literally broke the law because of the things that these people did to me. And they got the protection orders after everything that they did to me, and all I want to do is show the goddamn evidence. If you're going to let them do whatever the fuck they want to me, I'm going to speak up. 2018 08/30, minute order, print. Hearing on advisement, Magistrate Jansky, Clerk, Daher, FTR, Division 302 AM. DDA Blasowitz appears for the people. Defendant appears in custody with counsel Greenlee. PD appointed for purposes of advisement and or while defendant remains in custody on this case. Defendant has reviewed Rule 5 advisement and understands the rights contained. I don't understand any of it. I don't have any fucking rights. How can I understand not having rights? Court enters a mandatory protection order and advises the defender to the conditions of the MPO. Fuck you. Fuck you. Literally, I'd spent fucking over almost 2 years by this point trying to get a fucking day in court, trying to get one fucking person to care enough, because when you are called mentally ill, people can do whatever the fuck they want. Now, by this point, I still don't have an actual public pretender. This guy Greenlee, later on, thank goodness I know his name now. Later on, they're going to claim that Pamela Carty was in court. She wasn't. It was Greenlee. See, it says, let's see. Court enters a mandatory protection order and advises the defendant to the conditions of the MPO. Defendant has served with the MPO. Defendant has received a copy of the complaint and information. No, I didn't. They wouldn't allow me to have anything or look at anything. Giving it to my attorney does not allow me access to it. It says waives further reading and advisement at this time. Defense motions for PR bond. People object. Court maintains bond. By this point, I've already been assaulted on multiple occasions in the Boulder County Jail and prevented from going to a court date that I had to get to protect myself from all of this. (2018-831) MINC minute order print view magistrate Jansky clerk JJP FTR 302 DDA Blasowitz for the people. Defendant is present in custody with Ms. Brazil. PD withdraws competency concerns. See, my competency is withdrawn when they can use it to harm me. And later on, you're going to notice that they put it back when I threatened to fire my fucking public pretender. It says cases passed for PD to contact Mr. Mordelli. Case recalled at FTR 10:18 a.m. Mr. Mordelli is still looking into whether defendant qualifies for NAVIG program. Review is set for 9/4/18 at 9:30 a.m. Bond reserved. You have any idea how many times I'd gone in to try to show the evidence? I'd still have most of it, for Christ's fucking sake. Not that it matters. Without somebody there, they got to do whatever they wanted. That's the point in having someone there. 2018-9/4 minute order print status magistrate Jansky clerk MDR reporter FTR DHA Lindahl appears before the people. How many public pretenders do we have at this point now? Is this 3 or 4? I'll have to count already. I'm busy reading. Literally, I met all of these people as we're having court. There was no review with any of them. Not once did they try contacting any of the witnesses. They were too busy playing the mentally ill thing. It says entry of appearance DEF1 Schwartz Sean David, entry of appearance A822B9DDD592D 218-97 minute order hearing on bond magistrate Jansky clerk JJPFTR 302-1115 AM DHA Linda Dahl appears before the people. Defendant appears in custody with PD Marchelia. Defendant was not accepted into Navigator program. Defendant argues for PR bond. People object to PR bond. I just wanted to show fucking evidence, god damn it. Minute order print. Hearing on bond. Magistrate Jansky, clerk, ENO reporter, FTR Division 302, 10:40 a.m. DDA Blasowitz appears before the people. Appears for the people. How many is it now? Blasowitz, this is 4 or 5, right? Appears in custody with counsel. Howard, defendant is not eligible for Navigator program. Defense motions for PR bond. People object. Parties make additional record. And at no point in time have I been allowed to speak. By this point, it's the 9th. I've already been in custody for quite a while. I've been fucking tortured by the guards in the jail for quite a fucking while. I got plenty of people who wrote stuff, and I've posted on this YouTube for quite a fucking while. I have let all of these public pretenders know, hey, I'm being fucking tortured here, do something. It says waiver of 35-day rule for preliminary hearing. I didn't even know there was such a thing as 35-day rule. How's that for advisement of counsel? So, give me a second while I go find my telephone and we'll look up this 35-day rule thing. All right, maybe I'll plug in my stuff. And this computer is half dead already. I'm gonna have to shut it down. I got a lot more work to do. In each and every single one of these cases, I have enough evidence for a new trial. The fact is, after the torture and abuse that I had endured at the hands of the police and my public pretenders, I was not competent to do anything or make any of the decisions, especially with the choices that they were giving me. We're going to review that in a minute, too. The longer they kept me in there, the more torture I had to endure. They were going to do everything that they could do to drag it out, and that's exactly what they've done. By denying me the rights of a human being, and because I don't have the computer or technical knowledge to do all the shit you want me to, I gotta do pretty desperate shit. Let's look this up. By the way, there's a few people who offered to help, and then they're magically blocked. Where have we heard this before? 35-day rule. Colorado. Let's see what this is. The hearing shall be held within 35 days of the day of setting, unless good cause for continuing the hearing beyond that time is shown to the court. The clerk of the court shall prepare and give notice of the hearing or any continuance thereof to all parties and their counsel. Why didn't I get that? Why wasn't I allowed that? It's not the only one. They did it a few times. It says 2018-1002 proposed order. Now, mind you, this is what, eight court dates now so far. And these ones right here, it doesn't actually say who my public pretender is. Let's see. Probably further up. Proposed order, People 1, the people of the state of Colorado, order to amend count 1 of the felony complaint information. Motion, People 1, the people of the state of Colorado, motion to amend count 1 of the felony complaint information. 2018-10-2, MINC, minute order, print. Preliminary hearing, Magistrate Jansky, clerk, VMS date. Jansky has already shown me by this point that she has no interest in the truth. None of them are. Only one side's allowed to be shown. Now it says DDA Nelson, I'm assuming the district attorney, Nelson, appears for the people. Defendant appears in custody with counsel Taufer on behalf of Cardi. Defendant moves to continue the preliminary hearing. Defendant waives 35-day rule. I didn't waive shit. I didn't have counsel. Any excuse that they had. It says defense motions to address bond. Bond is argued. Court sets bond in the amount $2,500. Bond conditions, MPO. Preliminary hearing is continued to 10/11/18 at 1:30 p.m. Now you notice already that things that the courts are saying are not lining up with, well, people like Alyssa Rainwater. It says 10/2/2018, complaint amended. People 1, people of the state of Colorado, amended complaint and information waiver. Defendant 1, Schwartz, Sean David, waiver of preliminary hearing. I did not waive my preliminary hearing. I wasn't allowed to have it. 2018-10-11 MINC, minute order reading, print. Preliminary hearing, Magistrate Jansky, clerk, ENO reporter, FTR Division 302-2:05 p.m. DDA Nelson appears before the people. Defendant appears in custody with counsel Cardi. No, I didn't. It says defendant waives right to preliminary hearing. Case is bound over. Meanwhile, Pamela Cardi was not there and present for that one either. Minute order arraignment. Judge Tidball, clerk, Dar report. Now is Judge Tidball. I'm assuming that's the female judge. It says defendant appears in custody with counsel Cardi. She was not my counsel. She had been fired 3 times by that point for not showing up. It says the parties intended on entering into a disposition today, but are not ready to do so and asked for a continuance. That is not what happened. This is why we need to have recording devices in the courtrooms. This is why public pretenders need to be recorded as well. It was on the 15th that I tried to fire public pretender Pamela Cardi to the judge. She would not allow it. She said I would take the counsel that I was assigned. Meanwhile, Pamela Cardi, I offered to fire her. Why? Because she repeatedly didn't show up. She made no effort to requisition any evidence, and I wasn't allowed to speak in fucking court. It says 10:15, minute order arraignment. Judge Tidball, clerk Dar, reporter Arroyo. Defendant appears in custody with counsel Cardi. DDA asks for the people. The parties intended on entering into a disposition today, but are not ready and ask for a continuance. In every single one of these cases, the difference between this happening and me showing evidence came down to somebody giving a shit. it's all fucking slander, but I'm not allowed to do anything because they called me mentally ill, and nobody else is going to do anything. They don't understand what the mentally ill treatment is. It says 2018, 10/18, MINC. This is on my birthday. Judge Tidball. At least I know which judge to write that about. Clerk Dar. Reporter Arroyo. Defendant appears in custody with counsel Cardi. DDA Nelson for the people. A proposed disposition is tendered to the court. Yeah, I was fucking tortured into it. And you don't give a fuck. Like, obviously, these guys were victimizing me for a fucking reason. It says the defendant pleads guilty. No, I didn't. I said the words because I was tortured into it and lied to in order to give that plea. I was denied my 35-day arraignment. I was denied the 65-day. Plea agreement, motion order to amend counts, motion order to discount, warrant failure to comply. That's on 11/28/2018. 11/28/2018, proposed order for warrant, order for warrant. 2018 11/28, order for warrant, ruling probable cause found. I had to flee the fucking state for my own goddamn safety. Says 2018 11/28, CRVP, complaint for revocation of probation recommendation information sheet. See, these people who are pissed off at me for posting the truth, they're pissed off at me for posting evidence that shows this stuff is a bunch of bullshit. And you see how much of it there is already. Let's see. Apparently on judge/bar number on 1/22/2019, note withdraw CNSL. Let's see what a CNSL is. Let's see. Colorado Court CNSL. See. CNSL. CNSL meaning. See. I don't even know what CNSL is. Problem with not being an attorney. Let's see. On 10/18, it was Judge Philip L. Doug, except that on the 18th that Philip L. Doug was not my lawyer, or not my judge, obviously. If you scroll down here, up here it says Philip L. Doug. They didn't doctor it properly, apparently. Because right down here it says my judge, the 18th, was Tidball. Tidball. Let's see. Another one with Philip L. Doug on the 15th. Yeah, that was another one that was Tidball. And then it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 other court dates with Kathleen M. Jansky. Each and every single one of them a different public pretender. When I was supposed to have my pretrial, Pamela Cardi didn't show up. Literally, right before court, they did something that they keep on doing, not showing up. So this other lady, whose name I don't know, comes in, and she tells me that Pamela Cardi's been in a car accident. So I get Greenlee. Greenlee says that he can't defend me because he doesn't know anything about my case. He says you got 2 choices. You can either plead guilty or you can sign this piece of paper. He didn't tell me that signing that piece of paper was signing away all of my rights. But it's okay, isn't it? Because you weren't there to witness it. They must be right. Damn. They want a $1,200 probation supervision fee. Plus a whole bunch of other money. They're never going to get it out of me. They'll have to fucking kill me. I'm not going to pay these son of a bitches another fucking penny for abusing me. Dawn Bird was not the victim. She was the one who fucking assaulted me. Ken Wilson was not the victim. He was the one who stole my money. Fuck these goddamn people. I told people what would happen if they didn't show up. Shit like this. Let's see. Control A. Now, mind you, I have to have internet access to even see this part. Why did it take them so long to get this to me? Why? Partially because I didn't have an address. Let's see some more. Let's see. Here it says meeting October 10th. Microsoft Word document. By this time, I've already fired her several times. They were busy playing the mentally ill bullshit. All right. This one right here says, client states he was assaulted in the jail. described the deputies creating an unsafe situation. Officer McRae states he previously reported this officer a while ago, and she put him on suicide watch. Lovely, isn't it? She put me on suicide watch the very next day after I turned her in. Let's see, it says finally got his court-ordered phone call last night after numerous efforts to get them. Oh, it wants me to enter into some sort of an agreement to use Microsoft Word. God damn it, I'm not trying to do that. Fucking Jesus Christ, what is this bullshit? No, don't send optional data. Just get the fuck out of my... God damn it. It says privacy settings applied. Your account privacy settings are being applied to this device. To adjust your settings, go to... God fucking damn it. Most features are disabled because your Office product is inactive to use for free. Sign in. God fucking damn it. Finally, he got his court-ordered phone calls last night. But I didn't. They fucking dragged that shit out as long as they could. I wasn't able to make my phone calls until after they'd already decided, after they'd already they took advantage of the fact that I had no one there. It says, states he pressed the emergency button to get assistance because he is in fear of the deputies. Won't let him make reports against officers. Was told to go back to his cell, and that wasn't an emergency. He told them they were acting like Nazis and they were all talking over him. States he had sensory overload. He was told to back up against the wall and was handcuffed and thrown down on the floor when he wasn't resisting. Deputies apparently apologized for any pain he may have caused. He did apologize about a week later. Thank you. That was V Hill. It says he was taken to booking and put in a cell, then was taken for disciplinary hearing, and it would go into his records at the jail. Tried to get jail records. States he was finally able to talk to Miss Peaches, who is going to pick. That's things that Miss Peaches should have been contacted well before a pretrial or any of that. It says discussed DA changing the charge to attempt arson and the impact on sentencing. PH issues. Talked with client about what he would be willing to take as an officer. Says client adamant he will not be forced to take medication. Advised that generally the requirement would be to take medication as prescribed, and if he was not being prescribed them, it shouldn't violate probation. Talked about DA's current offer: PG to F5 ATT, arson, 45 days jail, 2 years probation, mental health eval, and tax per probation, 48 hours UPS, admission of liability, cause with restitution, and waive 35B. See, that's the thing. I don't know what any of this shit is. All I know is that I had evidence that everything that these fucking assholes said in court and wrote on their paperwork, and none of these people would look at it. The fact that I still have most of that evidence. Says advised that DA is still staffing a misto offer with her superiors, and without a concrete offer of that type, there is little sense in waiving PH, but advised that the DA may cease to negotiate if we proceed with PH today. Made client aware that DA appears willing to continue to negotiate with PH. What the fuck is a PH? Since we are going to need to get records, and he has been in custody for so long. States he wants to plead guilty and has from day one. And that's absolutely true. I committed the crime, but the fact is, I committed the crime for a fucking reason. By this time, I had already attempted on multiple occasions to fire Pamela Carty for not showing up. It says he is court ordered to MH treatment in Nebraska. Has a whole support network. Print out the minutes from the civil case. The civil case I wasn't allowed to go to, by the way, because I was incarcerated. States he can stay with Miss Peaches for 3 to 4 days, which will give him an opportunity to secure finances and secure alternative housing. He also has access to temporary housing through mental health partners with whom he has previously sought treatment. Yeah, that's bullshit. Complete bullshit. It says he missed several appointments as a result of this case and cases in other counties that have since been dismissed. They weren't dismissed, were they? It says he was completely cleared of any wrongdoing with respect to any FBI investigations. I literally threatened to kill the President of the United States. It says was listed as a person of interest in a homicide case. News reports vilified him and never published anything to state that he was not only cleared, but that cases against him were dropped. Wants to argue bond, DA will object. Of course, it doesn't say anything about the fact that they spent almost that entire meeting trying to pressure me into a panic attack. Here's one. It says meeting September 11th. This is one of the ones that she did not show up for, I'm pretty sure. Let's see what this one says. It says, fuck. It says, talked about, all right, it says, assess competency. Why are they trying to assess competency at this point? At September 11th. Good question. It says, talked about typos in Johnny and Ollie's reports. Talked about Natalie, Detectives Peterson, Adams County, and Detective Rogers. Believed Natalie's father had done it. Provided his computer to police. Talked to news media, Heavy Metal, Sword and Scale, episodes 109, 110. Tapes were destroyed. Did interviews shortly after. That is not true. See, that's the thing, is that these people don't fucking give a shit. Oh, it says Kayla Trujillo. Peaches. It even has her phone number on here. Has lots of notes with lots of phone numbers on. Easily distracted. Started talking about being autistic, hypoglycemic. Stayed with Kenneth until December 26th. Likes to build stuff. Jet engines, top mast rotor for a helicopter. It says lots of notes with lots of phone numbers on. Yeah, there's a reason I had those notes. I was told to document the abuse, and I did. It says, wrote names down for me from a very large list. Said these people are related to all of his cases. Nobody bothered to talk to any of them, though. It says, car and impound. State it has evidence from a lot of cases. Went to the police on December 29th to give them his computer. Natalie was my best friend and an extremely high-risk individual. Father had raped her, and he exposed her father with an email sent by Natalie on 13th of December. On the 15th, Natalie got a protection order. Became emotional when I asked about the Craigslist posting, and the person arrested believes that that person did it, and it was real that he gave her peace. Now, this is all stuff that should have been recorded. They're writing down, missing a bunch of stuff, and Jesus fucking Christ, that's why someone needed to be there in person. Someone needed to be there in person so that they couldn't use the term mentally ill to do exactly these things. Now, you notice they're going to continue the competency thing, but here they're going to later on say that I am competent. The times that they're going to change that is when I try to fire Pamela Carty repeatedly for not doing her job. It says, but really believes that person took advantage of a vulnerable person. States he was taken to the sex crimes unit on the 29th, not the homicide unit, so he thinks Natalie was raped. His computer is being used in Joseph Michael Lopez's defense. By the way, I still never got that computer back. It says, wants me to look into what is happening with his computer. Amanda Balehash was his lawyer. Amanda was trying to get information to detectives. Had been beaten. I don't know what the fuck. See, Amanda wasn't trying to get information to the detectives. I was. See, this is nothing but fucking typographical errors and bullshit. It says, Ken and Leah took advantage of me. States he will provide Facebook information. Wrote it down. 6th of January was assaulted. Didn't want his cases dismissed. He needed evidence. Now the problem is they wouldn't allow me to show any evidence. It says, reach out to Amanda and Zoe Tanner. Police in Boulder have been shipping me around, keep me in a constant state of motion. States he was assaulted by police in Boulder, was dragged around, and says it's on his computer. They didn't bother to look at it. Says computer was seized on 24th, trying to work with Secret Service and Brian Valenzuela, only has a couple of days left. Going to all of his mental health treatment, Amanda Jonas prevented me from going to 3 of my mental health appointments. And it says, and assured him that he would be able to get his car back. Then said his car would be released to the tow lot. Wants to release his car to Mandy Hughes and will sign a property release for her for jail property. Gave a PIN to allow Mandy access to his disability account to get the money to get his car. Backpack was taken by Officer Valenzuela. It says, I now attempted to talk about this case. This is about the case. Jesus fucking Christ. It says, get records, mental health partners, Longmont 2018, MH Records, Nebraska for a year, was paying out of pocket. MHCD, Stout Street, CCH, completely unable to get him to discuss case, other than him to say that he doesn't need a defense because he only wants to uncover all of the evidence of abuse. Started talking about his diet impacting his inability to think clearly. That was the diet in the jail. I had to draw pictures in order to get enough food to eat. It said, started to try to make a list of places he has received treatment, but was unable to keep him on track long enough to get the list. Continued saying that they prevented me from seeing the people I wanted to see. This guy, obviously, he's not the best writer. He can barely speak English. And that's not me being a racist asshole. That's saying that his understanding of the English language, especially in typing, appears to be more than just a little bit lacking. Schwartz meeting October 1st. It says, advised of conversation with Sister Tara. Hold on a second. Stated that he spoke with her today and she's going to speak with her uncles, Tabitha Michelle Cook, get number from Kayla. Advised of conversation with Kayla, aka Peaches, attempted to discuss PH tomorrow. Advised that investigator was going to come to get documents notarized if necessary for property release, since no one is currently able/willing to obtain his property. This did not happen. See, that's more bullshit. It said Got back pay on SSI. Will get another 1,000 a month. Wanting to get a place in Nebraska. Julesburg, Colorado. Will have a place to stay. Friend just south of Nebraska border. Wants to get away from Bollinger's and ultimately move to Nebraska. Coordinate with other lawyers. Chapel, Nebraska. 308-874-2272. Criminal case lawyer. Charge in reckless driving and one other traffic offense. Scotts Bluff, Jessica, 308-436-6678. Public defender. Charges vandalism. Hasn't met with her because he was taken into custody. By the way, that's one of the warrants that I had that I'm not allowed to have because I was fucking in custody. It says, talked a lot about Miss Kayla and how he helped her in past. No, actually, I was talking about Kayla helping me in the past. Talked about Ted Bollinger being dangerous and feeling threatened by him. States he threatened him in the past, trying to coax him into crossing the border and actively removing posts. All right, see, now here again, this people is writing out whatever the fuck they want. It says he was much calmer today after being moved to a different pod, agreed that going through with PH was important and being calm in court is important. Well, with the exception of the fact that every single court date they're doing the same goddamn thing. The police should have never been allowed to do what they did. It says, talked again about competence. Today he seems to be able to talk more rationally about the case, but still coming back to the Bollingers and feeling like they're going to hurt. Holy shit, who writes this shit? It says, being assaulted repeatedly in Boulder County Jail, pressure points being applied, and then being taken to hospital. Sounds like he was put in restraints. The officer Burke was applying pressure for pain compliance. I was already strapped down to the fucking bed. And he was injected with medication that made him unaware of what was happening. And they completely ignored a whole bunch more. See, here's the thing, is that nobody should have to break the law. Nobody should have to do these desperate things. I'm telling them what's going on. The evidence is still fucking here. Let's see. Being assaulted repeatedly in the Boulder County Jail, pressure points being applied. These were multiple assaults, actually, from multiple visits. And the assault in specific here, where they're talking about Officer Burke, I was actually in the Longmont Hospital for that one. See, this whole time, I'm literally trying to turn in my predators and show fucking evidence. Says, and he was injected with medication that made him unaware of what was happening. It says, was thrown in the hole when he got to Arapahoe, has been there twice. This exacerbates his symptoms of autism. Wasn't given his phone call after last court date. Talked about arguing bond tomorrow. Ali Moadeli has mental health set up at All Health Network, Mental Health Partners in Longmont. It says, states he was assaulted 2 days ago in 1C for trying to defend a mentally ill inmate, Enrique LeBaron. Says he wrote a police statement in the case, other inmates wiping food on their genitals and feeding it to him when Sean says he is developmentally delayed. This is the meeting on October 17th. This is the one where she literally did everything in her power to outright lie and fucking bullshit me. It says Schwartz, jail visit with Katie Telfer. I don't know who the fuck that is. 10/17/18 says, talked about being prevented from defending himself in 3 different jurisdictions and being intentionally prevented from going to court and making phone calls. Suggested being tortured by numerous police departments. Yeah, this is a good time to pull up George's. Type the word George on my YouTube channel. It says, Katie again reiterated that we cannot represent him in a civil case against the police. This isn't a civil case. I was fucking assaulted. It says, believes he is targeted because he is disabled, homeless male. Duh. It says, describes the types of cases that PDs can help him with. States that I didn't tell him about Larimer County warrant. Advised him that I have left a message for Jill Gookin, ADC lawyer, and sent an email. Sean expressed his frustration about also being unable to reach her and missed appointments with that lawyer that cost him $100 per trip. Client described all of the issues he has with being able to both attend court and meet with lawyers since it's expensive and he makes $705 a month. Worried about his car being released from evidence and him then being charged to pick up his car when he does finally get out. Talked with Katie about his experience in Louisville, where he was chemically restrained, went over plea paperwork and how the plea would work in court, what probation would look like, asking for additional time to report probation if transferred to Larimer County first. See, that's the thing, is that these things weren't discussed. The lady spent her entire time trying to send me into a fucking panic attack. Let's see. Schwartz, Sean, 118 CR 2556A. Obviously, these people are pretty fucking unprofessional. Says, damn, I'm so sick of that shit. And I'm sorry, I don't know how to do the editing stuff to just show this shit to you straight up. Oh, fuck. Now where the hell did it go? Zunai is in Inglewood. Ken and Leah Plunkett live in Inglewood. All right, court use only. Case number 18 CR 25556. See, all of this is because those people not only had assistance from the police and assistance from my own public pretenders, they already knew how to do much of the computer stuff. They weren't forced to move from place to place to place to place, trying to find access just to a fucking outlet, for shit's fucking sake. Says defendant is in custody and cannot post bond pursuant to Chief Justice Directive 04-042. The Public Defender's Office is automatically electing to represent defendant. They didn't fucking defend me. Says Megan A. Ring, Colorado State Public Pretender /S/Pamela Cardy. Pamela Cardy, number 50181, Deputy State Public Pretender. It's funny, every time that I told my public pretenders that they weren't doing their jobs, they tried to, instead of look at evidence, they tried to have me locked up for my competency. I did threaten the President of the United States, and I was wholeheartedly and willing to plead guilty to that. I did light that fire, and I was wholeheartedly and willing to admit to that. But the fact is, I had to commit those crimes in order to stop the violence. I had to break the law because every single time that I went in to try to get this shit done, I was put through hell. Alright, so I'm gonna shut this off. There's a whole shit ton more to it. I'm gonna end the stream, and then my next video, I'm gonna put my other computer right next to this one, hopefully, and we'll see if we can make it work. I gotta download some files from last night and put them on there. I still don't have a safe place to work. So they tried to paint me as crazy for reactions to abuse. Jesus fucking goddamn Christ. Blow my head off.